Everyone, welcome back to Heart Health with Michelle. My name is Michelle Routhenstein. I'm a cardiovascular dietitian, and today I want to spend a little time on LP little a. So LP little a is called lipoprotein little a, and it is a genetically inherited type of cholesterol that increases the risk of aortic stenosis, heart attacks, strokes, and thrombotic events. While that sounds really scary, and knowing yours may be high, which would be above 30 milligrams per deciliter or above 75 nanomoles per liter, may be scary, I want to actually change that around for you. So, we know it's a risk enhancer, meaning that if it is elevated, your body can make plaque in sneaky places like the aortic valve at lower thresholds. But if we can be aware of it, we're able to have heart health on your radar. We're able to say, you know what, I can lower my ApoB and LDL cholesterol to targets earlier and for longer, and that is going to help reduce your risk substantially. We also know that LP little a gets accelerated when there's inflammation. So while it's primarily genetically inherited, about 30% of it or maybe a little bit less in some individuals, have some variance. So, when there is inflammation, when there is an acute inflammation or someone has chronic low grade inflammation, it can actually increase LP little a and make it more dangerous, more sticky, more prothrombotic. So, we know we can control inflammation. If we understand the source of the inflammation and we address it through targeted science based nutrition and lifestyle medicine, we know we can help mitigate risk. But if it's not on your radar, it's not something that you're going to think about until, unfortunately, someone may have a cardiovascular event and then they're starting to dig through, well, why did you have it at such a young age? Or why did this happen? Let's then check your LP little a. I was actually in the airport traveling back from Chicago where I spoke at the NLA sessions about inflammation and gut microbiome. It was a great lecture. My flight got canceled, and so I had to take an early flight the next day, and I was waiting in line at 3 o'clock on the TSA line, and I was just talking to the guy behind me. And we were just talking about flight delays and cancellations. And he was saying how he is going to Arizona to get dental work done. And he said, this is my second attempt. The first time I tried to go, I had a massive heart attack the day before and I couldn't make it. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. And he looked relatively young. He's like, yeah, I'm only 59 and I have a strong family history of heart disease. And I was like, I don't want to be intrusive, but can I ask you if you have any children? And he goes, yeah, I have a daughter. Her mom passed away from a massive heart attack. I was like, do you know if you checked her LP little a? And he goes, oh, I have that, but I don't, she never checked it. And I go, ooh, that's an opportunity. And I'm like, please have her check that, not to scare her. But when we know one person has high LP little a, that means we need to check all first degree relatives because we want to make sure that if it is high in anyone, that we take more proactive action in your heart health. Because if we can mitigate the modifiable risk factors, we can actually reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease in people who have LP little a by 70%, which is really substantial. So, but we need to know it's on our radar. Most people have no idea about heart disease because it's silent. And we really can save so many more lives if we are more adamant about getting LP little a tested and then understanding, well, now my targets change. The targets for your blood sugar and your blood pressure and your cholesterol, they need to be in good optimal control. They need to be maintained in optimal control, and we need to be looking at all aspects of it. There's also, we know, IL-6 is an inflammatory marker that pushes LP little a to be more aggressive and higher. So we want to make sure that we are addressing that marker specifically in LP little a. And if you're interested in learning more about these labs, I do have a lab course called Know Your Numbers. I'll link it in the show notes down below, and you can join where I have self-paced courses about little 3 minute, 4 minute videos about each of the labs, what the targets should be based on your risk, and also give you a fillable sheet where you can plug in your numbers and assess trends so that we're helping to ensure we're optimizing them. Because we don't feel heart disease, but we can test labs. And if we can be more proactive in knowing what our numbers mean, then we can help optimize them, reach them to target, and reduce risk of cardiovascular disease, even with a high LP little a. I have a high LP little a. And when I found out I had high LP little a, I was actually in this field already. But it prompted me to do additional screening. And all of that came really great. And my labs are really great. And I monitor them a little bit more than I would if I didn't have high LP little a. And so for me, what I changed, what I do is not really my diet and my labs were optimal before because I'm in this field and I practice what I preach too. But I decided that I need to be more on top of regular screening and do more of the assessing for plaque and assessing for all of those things because I want to make sure that it's maintained in optimal range. So I hope this is empowering. It shouldn't bring fear. It's yes, I now know, so I can do something about it. Don't let Lp(a) handicap you. Let it give you information to say, I'm at risk of heart disease. It's not inevitable. It just means I have to be more proactive. I have to understand what's going on. I have to implement change and I have to be on top of metric driven care to ensure my changes are working for me in my body. So I hope this is empowering. If I can help in any way, feel free to reach out. Check out my website, entirelynourished.com. Join my email list. Join the course if that's something that you need more support on. I'm here for you and we will reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease together. So I hope you check your Lp(a). If it's high or you know a family member who has a high Lp(a), make sure you do cascade training screening so we look at everyone in the family so that we can make sure that we are on top of heart disease prevention. Hope this is helpful and we'll talk again real soon.